Chapter 8. The Great Explosion. As I ran along the shore, I saw something shining in the sand. I bent down and picked it up. It was a knife. I showed it to my uncle.
"That is your knife, Axel. You must have dropped it."
"No, uncle. I did not bring a knife with me. What about you?"
"No,"
my uncle replied.
"I have never seen this knife before. Perhaps it belongs to Hans."
But it was not Hans's knife. My uncle picked it up and looked at it carefully.
"This knife has been here for many years,"
he said.
"It is made of steel. Therefore, it can only be a few 100 years old. But the blade of the knife is rough. Someone has used this knife to carve his name on a stone, and that stone is somewhere near here. We must find it."
The three of us looked all over the rocks around us. At the foot of a cliff, we found the entrance to a dark tunnel. There we saw two letters carved on the rock. A.S.
"A.S.!"
my uncle exclaimed.
"Arne Saknussemm again!"
All my doubts about our journey disappeared. A great traveller had been here before us. He had carved his initials in the rock to guide us on our way, and I was holding his knife. I forgot the dangers of our journey. I was not worried about how we would return. Now I was filled with as much excitement as my uncle. I turned to him. "Uncle, I think that something is guiding us on our journey," I said. "Let us enter this tunnel and continue to the centre of the earth." We had only travelled a few meters when we came up against a huge rock. It blocked our path, so we could not continue. We looked to the left and to the right of it, but there was no way past it. "This rock must have fallen since Saknussemm was here," I said. "If we cannot break it down, we do not deserve to reach the centre of the earth." Hans and I tried to break the rock with pickaxes, but it was too hard. Then I had an idea. "Gunpowder!" I exclaimed. "Let's blow it up with gunpowder." Hans made a hole in the rock with his pickaxe. We packed the hole with gunpowder. I made a long fuse out of cloth and laid it against the gunpowder. By midnight everything was ready. I wanted to light the fuse then, but my uncle refused.
"Tomorrow,"
he said.
"We need to sleep now."
The next day was the most important day in our journey. I cannot write about it now without my heart beating with fear. At 6 o'clock I was ready to light the fuse. There would be a delay of 10 minutes before the gunpowder exploded. I told my uncle I was ready. I lit the fuse and returned to the raft. We counted the time on my uncle's watch.
5 seconds more,"
he said.
4, 3, 2, 1. Now!
I don't think I heard the explosion, but the shape of the rocks changed before my eyes. A huge hole opened, and the sea became one big wave. It lifted us and threw us forward. In less than a second, we were in complete darkness. The water carried us along at a frightening speed. An hour passed, perhaps 2. We held on to each other to prevent us being thrown off the raft. It was then that I found that we had lost everything we owned. Our tools and instruments, and most of our food and water had been swept away by the waves. All we had were some biscuits and a small piece of meat. I decided not to tell my uncle of my discovery. In any case, there was no point in worrying about food. We would probably be killed quite soon. We continued to go faster. It felt as if we were falling. But where were we falling?